Join me in Gasho. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. 公園よ開始本編有脈十目如来予言小生無人小学大音ホルジオ開門精進三昧知恵意徳無量修正慶雨人体前年小仏崩壊無人人の空母外体無名欲ぬ世尊用無人の死死人徳無量空軍古代知恵人用法名意相神道大戦ガンガサ仏外傷法可動精進未不下達不正上位愛人精進妙税三昧知恵以上五世特仏不行志願一切空一切大安決しう仏百千の不満無料大小修行公者不要一切死と小仏不尿不動検証不逆異尿公者小仏世界不不影無種節度法名心象変死小国尿税精進異人難量量化差仏国土第一五種奇妙道場超絶国如来音二無闘争がと愛人道達一切自己来生心熱症状意とが 지보세손 지혜무게 조료시손 지가신교 계료신시 조구조 조구조 가교쇼짐 니주프케 나무아미다仏 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 We will now have Gatha Namo Amidabutsu on page, I'm sorry, I'm looking for the page of the Gatha. 179, thank you. So the Gatha is on 179, please rise. We will follow with the threefold refuge on page 11. 174. Is it 174? Yes. Thank you. Our tears may flow. The threefold refuge. Difficult is it to receive a human form, now we are living it. Difficult is it to hear the Dharma of the Buddha, now we hear it. If we do not cross over to the truth in the present life, in what life shall we cross over? Let us with sincerity and true reverence take refuge in the three treasures of the truth. I take refuge in the Buddha. May we together with all sentient beings awaken to the great way of enlightenment and to the unsurpassed intent of Amida Buddha. I take refuge in the Dharma. May we together with all sentient beings enter the storehouse of the Dharma, becoming like the wisdom ocean. I take refuge in the Sangha. May we together with all sentient beings become units in true accord, in harmony with all things. The peerless, profound, and wondrous Dharma is rare to encounter, even in many hundreds and thousands of kalpas. Now we are privileged to hear and receive it. Let us thoroughly understand the true meaning of the Tathagata's teaching. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Please be seated. Again, I'd like to thank all of you for coming today. I apologize. I'm always, it takes a lot of practice to be up here, and I apologize for my clumsiness, so please bear with me. But I really want to say that I'm really happy to be back in Watsonville today. So I'm going to begin today by reading a part of one of Renyo Shoning's letters. This is from Fascicle 2, number 7, and it's entitled, Going is Easy, Yet No One is Born There. Please join me in Gassho. To receive that faith, there is no need at all for wisdom or learning, for wealth and status, or for poverty and distress. It does not matter if one is good or evil, or male or female. To take refuge, the right practice is just to rely on Amida Tathagata's single-heartedly and steadfastly, without any contriving. Sentient beings everywhere who entrust themselves in this way are embraced within Amida's light. He does not abandon them, and when life is spent, he brings them without fail to the Pure Land. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. So, last Thursday to yesterday, I was at the Jodo Shinshu Center in Berkeley. I was attending one of their MAP sessions. MAP stands for Minister Assistant Program. And this session's theme was Renyo, the eighth Monshu of our tradition. He was a real innovator who made Shinnan's teachings relatable. He did this by encouraging the building of communities who met regularly. He recommended that everybody meet at least once a month. They would chant Shoshinge together, and they would read one of Renyo's letters and discuss it. And these letters were read aloud so that people who couldn't read could were not excluded. If you read it aloud, everybody could hear it together. Everybody could engage in the letter, and they could talk about it. And even now in America, we still follow that tradition that Nino started. At a minimum, all BC temples have a honko to honor Shinran in January. And we also have monthly Shotsuki services. Nino understood something that was really essential in religious life. It's not easy to learn the Dharma on your own, just by reading. We learn from each other. We learn from working on projects together. We learn from witnessing how people face tragedies, and we learn from how people, express joy together. We really learn more from being in a community from some sutras or some obscure texts. And I'd like to share an example of this kind of learning from something that we had at the Salinas Temple recently. We had our annual Keidokai. This is a luncheon that we hold to honor our temple members. And in the case of Salinas, our definition of Keido are people who are 75 or older in the year of the event. So I've been attending these Keidokai luncheons ever since I was in my 20s. Back then, younger members each contributed a dish, and the Fujinkai ladies, they assembled them into bentos for all the seniors. And, because they were all homemade dishes, the food was great. But, doing it this way caused a problem because there was a variation in what bentos each person received. So you can imagine all the seniors are sitting in the gym, they're wearing their corsages and boutonnieres, they're waiting for itadakimasu, so that they could start eating. And I remember our Fujinkai president rushed into the kitchen and saying, all those seniors, they're comparing each other's bentos. Somebody got kabocha, I didn't get the kabocha, this is somebody has renkon, they're all kind of sitting there, and while they're waiting for itadakimasu, they're all kind of chattering to each other, and it was really funny to me because when I was sitting there watching these seniors, they had this look of openness and curiosity, and they would just say whatever they were thinking without any filter. And I thought they were a lot like our Dharma school kids, because, they were really open and direct, but it was for a totally different reason. The little kids say whatever they think because they don't know any better. They haven't been taught, you can't say what you think, But the seniors, they just say whatever came to their mind because they've lived long enough to just stop worrying about what people think. They graduated from being careful. They were done. So I have this particular memory of my mom at one of these keidokai. She was sitting with one of her best friends, Katanaga-san. The luncheon was over, they were playing bingo. My mom was not well at that point, she couldn't walk anymore. So, she was sitting and she couldn't get up to get tea or something. So her friend, was like being very helpful. It's like, you want tea? You want to go get you something? She says, no, I'm fine, and, they're kind of going along. And, Katanaga-san was really trying to help. But when bingo started, my mom started to get a little irritated. So, they call it the numbers, and Katanaga-san will point to my mom's card and say, look, you got D5, or you got G3, And finally, my mom couldn't take it anymore. She says, I can watch my own card. You just concentrate on your card, I'm fine. Right? I kind of observed this, and I was thinking, we're laughing about at home with my mom, and it's like, you were kind of like a little hard on Gatanag-san, weren't you? And my mom said, she understood that, she was trying to, she knew her friend was trying to help, but she says, sometimes you just gotta say what you're thinking. It doesn't help to hold back, my mom was kind of just expressing that, she might not be able to walk so well, but she didn't lose her mind. She was still okay in that sense. And I was thinking that, looking at this interaction between my mom and Gatanaga-san, that, you have to express your own needs and be honest with each other, that I was learning something about, long-term relationships. I thought maybe Gatanaga-san would take it the wrong way, that they would have be silent with each other. That did not happen. And I learned that this is what relationships and community looks like. It's people showing up and being as they really are, not like, constrained by, social conventions. Speak truthfully, hear truthfully. And, this is something I think Renyo knew too when he was saying that you can't just stay home and be thinking about, Amida. You can't just be at home and contemplating Shinran's teachings. You really learn by being with other people. You really, it's the key to engaging in the Dharma. And, I think about those moments at the temple that, these are all teaching moments. That story I'm talking about now was a while ago now, but, thinking about, when I started going to Keidokai in my 20s, I'm in my late 50s now, my relationship to Keidokai keeps changing. At one point I was just tagging along with my mom helping serve tea. Later I became a temple board member, so I had some more responsibilities. At one point my mom became one of the seniors, so my relationship to Keidokai changed again. And now I'm helping at Keidokai, my mom's gone. She's not there anymore. And it's kind of an object lesson that, impermanence, it's not that other people are changing, I'm changing too, right? Back then I was a college student, then I became a flower farmer. When my mom's health took a turn for the worse, the farm was sold, my identity as a flower girl just fell away. Suddenly, it's like, I don't know what I am anymore. I was a caregiver. And then when she passed away, I really didn't know what I was. It's like, what's my job now? I don't have a job. Now I'm a minister assistant. I don't know what I'm going to be a couple of years from now. Right now I'm still caught in, struggling with what my life is right now. But when I think about these Keidokai, and I'm thinking about how the Dharma School kids, just liberated openness, right? They just say what they think. And the seniors too, they're liberated too. But because they've lived through all of this and they understand that maybe all of those conventions aren't as important as we think they are. So I'm really hoping that, one day I'm going to be sitting at one of these senior luncheon tables. I'm going to have a corsage on my lapel. I'm going to be waiting so that eventually somebody's going to say, "Itadakimasu," so that I can start eating. And I'm hoping that, I'll come to that point where I'm just really just have joyful anticipation and curiosity. I hope that, having lived through many experiences and changes, I can really feel like I'm a part of the community and I can be honest and have direct engagement and just be really grateful for the community and everybody's attentiveness, and not being worried about that I'm saying the right thing in the right way. I think this is something that I've been learning at the temple. This is just one small example. This Keirokai, it teaches us year after year, that, things are changing. People, the older seniors are passing away, and we have new people becoming seniors. We have different people helping, but there's real a continuity in the community, and they're all teaching us, and it's not just the seniors, we're learning from every member of the temple, but we really, have to cherish this community, because we really learn as much from each other as we do from some obscure text. I think this was really what Shinran and Nenyo were trying to teach us, that you don't have to read classical Chinese and be able to read the Pure Land Sutras, that are kind of sitting up on the, we really learned the Dharma from living our lives and engaging in the world. And, this is one of those things that I learned, I'm continuing to learn every time I come to the temple. So that's my message for today. And I'm really happy again to see all of you today. Thank you very much. Please join me in Gassho. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Thank you very much. We're going to now have Undok-san on page. I apologize, I should have written down the page numbers of the gathas before we came here. The Undok-san 2 on page 220, thank you. Undok-san 2, this is one of Shinran's poems, so this is why it's so important to us to include this gatha in the services. Please be seated. Thank you. So announcements. I will open that. Next week is the Coast District Nembutsu Conference. It is hosted by San Luis Obispo in Guadalupe, but it's going to be held at the Buddhist Temple of Salinas. It should be a really nice opportunity to get together. There'll be an English Dharma talk by Reverend Harry Bridge of Oakland Buddhist Temple, and the Japanese guest speaker will be the new supervising minister for the Monterey and Watsonville, Reverend Hibiki Murakami. Good opportunity to hear him talk in Japanese if you wanted to hear that Japanese Dharma message. It's kind of shocking. He looks like he's a high school student, but he's actually 32. He's fully adult. But I was really shocked. He said, he mentioned in passing that his father was born in 1965. And, our jaws kind of dropped. I was born in 68, so I'm pretty sure I'm older than his mom. That this is another lesson in impermanence, right? You know, it's like, okay, you know, he's so young, it's like, but that just means it's not him, it's me. We're all getting older, right? And this is the state of affairs. But he is a wonderful, he's a wonderful speaker too. So, you know, you really have to take the opportunity to hear him also. So please try to attend next week in Salinas. I'm sure there are many events coming up, so please come up to it. Announce for Watsonville events coming up. Somebody? Do you have?
October
Yes.
24th is our Panda Express fundraiser, and then November 8th we're going to have a fun night for all our to get to know our new members and everybody else, and for the whole sangha. And then the blood drive is November 8th. Also during the day from 10 to 2:30 or so. Please join our blood drive too. And yeah, golf tournament. Well, I think there's a golf tournament tomorrow. Hope it doesn't rain. And Seeds Candy. December, we're taking orders. We're also taking, it's on now, so you can order it online. You can pick up during Mochitsuki, or you can have it delivered to your home. And Mochitsuki is December 7th.
Thank you very much. I think this concludes today's service. I hope everybody has a wonderful Sunday. We invite everybody to come up to Oshoko. I'm going to light the incense to make sure it's going well. So give me a minute.
so related.